The Unit 10 review, this is about your circles. It says, number 1, given circle with center A, write the letters B, C, D, and E next to the appropriate vocabulary terms below. So, for a tangent, this is where it just touches the circle. That would be line C. A secant has to go through the circle, so that would be line E. A chord goes within the circle from endpoint to endpoint, so that would be segment B. And a radius would be from A to here, but we're going to call that line D. I think they meant like center A as well as that being the diameter. So we're going to go with D for radius. Number 2, the radius of a circle is 3.8 feet. Find the diameter. So you would just take 3.8 times 2 and get 7.6. Okay, and that has a label of feet. For number 3, we learned that if you have a tangent line, like AB, here it tells you AB and AC are tangent, and they meet a radius within a circle, these create 90-degree angles here. And in a quadrilateral, you have 360 degrees. And so I would add 90, 90, and 108, and that would give me 288 degrees. So I would subtract that from 360 to get my angle X. So if I do that, we get 72 degrees. So this right here is 72. Number 4, we're dealing with central angles and their arcs here. So central angles is the same as their arc. So given that MK and NL are diameters of the circle, determine the measures of the following arcs. So this one is directly 70, and here we have 20. Vertical angles would tell me that this is also 70. And then if I wanted to go ahead and use the fact that MK is a diameter, I could do 180 minus the 70 to get me this angle here. This would be 110. Okay, and then on this side, we could do, 70 plus 20 is 90. And if I subtract that from 180, that gives me that this angle is 90 as well. So is this arc. So now that I have all my angle measurements and all my arc measurements, I could go ahead and find these different arc lengths. So arc LK is 70. Arc MJ is 70 plus 90. And remember, if it only has 2 letters, it has to be less than 180. So if I went this direction, I would obviously be a lot more than 180 degrees. So 70 plus 90. Then we have the measure of M, N, K. So M, N, K would be 70, 90, and 20. And that gives me my 180. And then N, L, K. So we're going to go N to L, which is 180 degrees, plus to K is 70, and that would give me a total of 250 degrees. Okay. In number 5, it says to find the measure of angle ABD. Okay, so I'm going to trace that. So the measure of angle ABD would be half of this right here. To get that intercepted arc or inscribed angle, I take half of the intercepted arc. So 46 divided by 2 gives me 23. Okay. Then if I do angle BAC, then I would have to find this missing angle here. And so, sorry, this missing arc. And so if I add up 74, 46, and 112, and I subtract that from 360, I would get 128 degrees left here. So that angle that I have in green would be half of the 128, and that would be 64 degrees. Okay, in number 7, it says, given circle with center Q, the measure of angle AQC is 128 degrees. So this right here is my central angle. My arc is the same if it's a central angle. But if I'm trying to find my angle measurement, I take half of the 128. And that would be 64 degrees. So this angle is 64 because it is half of its arc. And this is a inscribed angle.